Welcome back. So, have you ever been in a conversation where you could feel the tears coming and part of you was trying to talk, trying to express yourself? Maybe your throat tightened, maybe your voice started to shake, or you tried to hold it back. Maybe you couldn't in that moment. And afterward, you thought, why do I always cry? Or I wish I could just say what I needed to say. And today I want to talk about crying during conversations and how to handle those moments with care. Because crying during emotional moments, it's human. But if you find yourself crying in ways that make it hard to communicate or move forward, there are gentle ways that you can support yourself. So before anything else, I want to say something I think is important, which is crying is not a communication failure. Crying is not weakness. Crying is not something that you need to eliminate. Crying is really a natural emotional response, and it often shows up when something really matters to you, or you're feeling vulnerable, you feel hurt, you're feeling overwhelmed in some way, or you're trying to say something that feels really important. And tears are often a sign that you're touching something real. And it's okay to be emotional during difficult moments. You don't need to become emotionless in order to communicate well. And at the same time, some people find that they cry very easily, sometimes even when they really don't want to. And sometimes crying can interrupt what you're trying to say. It can make it hard to finish a thought. It can make conversations stop before you're ready and leave you feeling maybe embarrassed or frustrated, make it hard to move forward. If that's your experience, there is nothing wrong with you. It often just means your nervous system is responding really strongly in that moment. And the goal isn't to stop crying completely, it's really to learn how to stay present with yourself when these big emotions rise up. So, what's happening in the moment is often our tears come up in conversation, and a few things are happening at once. You're feeling something, you're trying to communicate, and you're becoming really aware in that moment that you're emotional. You can feel it. And that awareness can actually intensify the experience. So you might think, I need to stop. I'm being too much. I'm losing control. They're judging me. And these thoughts can make the emotion even stronger. So, part of this practice is learning to stay with yourself instead of fighting the moment, instead of fighting the emotion. You're really learning how to allow the emotion to be there with you, but not become the emotion itself. So, a gentle practice for the moment is if you feel yourself starting to cry during a conversation, the first step isn't to stop it, it's to slow down, acknowledge it, to just say, I'm feeling emotional. You might take one slow breath, feel your feet on the ground, let your shoulders soften, pause your words for a moment, and just share with yourself in that moment, I'm feeling a lot of emotion right now. I'm feeling big emotions right now, and that's okay. You don't need to rush through the tears, you don't need to rush through the emotion. You just get to remind yourself, I can be alongside this emotion. I don't have to become it. And sometimes giving yourself a moment actually helps you continue. One of the hardest parts, I think, of crying in conversation is not knowing what to say about it because we can feel really embarrassed by it and, maybe ashamed of it. But simple language can really help. So in the moment, we might just say, I need a moment, or this is really important to me. This is why I'm responding in this way. Or I'm okay. I just need a second. Or, I still want to talk about this. I'm feeling really emotional right now, but I want to keep going. Or I'm feeling really emotional. I'll take a break and then I'll come back. Right? These kinds of statements, they just help the conversation keep itself open instead of shutting it down. And they also let the other person know that, your tears aren't the end of the conversation. It doesn't mean the conversation needs to end. It just means they need to support you in your emotion. So if you notice that you cry very quickly in conversations, it can help to support yourself before the moment. So maybe even before these conversations, you're going to think about what you want to say ahead of time. You're going to write down a few key points, right? You'll take a few breaths before starting. You'll speak a little more slowly than usual. Maybe you'll just keep your fist tight in a ball, right? These small steps can really help your nervous system feel more supported in that in the interaction. So it's not perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking to support ourselves in these moments. So many people feel ashamed about crying in conversations, but emotion and communication are not enemies at all. Emotion often means that you really care, and caring is part of honest communication. So the goal isn't to become someone who never cries. The goal is to become someone who can stay connected to themselves, even when these emotions are really present, being alongside the emotions. So if you cry during conversations, you are not broken, you are human. And if you'd like to feel a little steadier in those moments, that's a kind and reasonable thing to want for yourself. So this is something you can practice gently and over time. And if you'd like more support with difficult conversations, I share practices and reflections in my books and audio courses, and I will link those below. And if there's a communication moment that you struggle with, including emotional ones, please leave a comment. I'm starting to answer some of these in upcoming videos, so you're not alone in this, and I will see you next week.